Hello, my friends, and welcome back to PlayStation Underground. I am joined by James from Insomniac, and we are playing Ratchet and Clank, which is coming to PS4 on April 12th. Depending on when you're listening, you're watching this. That could be really soon or now.
Yeah, it's
so
right
welcome.
upon us. When we're recording this, it's really soon
I know.
already. So
is the studio, like, the excitement level? Is it building? Are you guys feeling good? Are you relieved?
Yeah, it's kind of insane because we've honestly been working on this for so long. The film has taken several years. The game has taken a lot of time too, and it's just kind of a relief to finally have it out there and actually have Ratchet on the PlayStation 4 for the first time. So.
And it's so gorgeous. I mean, you and I have talked already, and I don't go back with Ratchet as far as the original days, but I joined in kind of on the Future series, and I've been really excited about this game because, this Ratchet and Clank is, I don't want to say a return to form per se, but it's a revisiting the origin story of this famous PlayStation duo, and, obviously using the power of the PS4 to deliver Insomniac's classic, gorgeous visuals and great weapon design. There's just so much to talk about. So kind of walk me through some of the basics.
Yeah, so, we had always wanted to make a Ratchet and Clank movie. And so that was kind of where everything got kick-started. And we had this movie happening, and
coming to
actual theaters. It'll be in theaters on April 29th in North America and coming to a lot of other countries too soon after. So we had this movie, and we knew we wanted to do a game to go along with it in some way. And so it took us a little bit of time to kind of figure out what we were going to do. And a big thought was, well, the movie, is going to introduce a whole new audience to Ratchet and Clank. Well, let's do the same thing with the game, and let's go back to the origin story like the movie's going to do. But we knew we also just didn't want to, remake the original game and just do like an HD up-res or something like that. We knew we wanted it to be something special for our fans. So we spent a lot of time kind of basically rebuilding the original game from scratch in a lot of ways, but it's really completely new. If you think back to that 2002...
Wait, hold on. I want to guess how many times it'll take you to fit this fish. I feel like you're trying to concentrate on talking to me at the same time, and you're like, get this frickin' fish.
I don't know, actually. You know what?
Here's what I'm going to do.
No, I'm not going to cheat. I'm just going to make him a very easy target.
I'm sorry, I totally interrupted
there.
you. Okay, go back.
No, so, we kind of knew, and I can even thrust her down here, too. Ooh. Classic. But
Underwater Ratchet.
Yeah, as always. So yeah, we knew we wanted to, retell that origin story, but we knew the movie was going to introduce some new plot elements, and so we knew we had to kind of go back. Think about the 2002 Ratchet and Clank. That was a game that was, very kind of crude in terms of Ratchet standards. If you played it in the HD collection on PS3,
don't say that.
Well, no, but think about it. Like, that was our first time out, and we iterated a ton since then. So like back then, you couldn't strafe. The weapons didn't level up. So, everything was a gadget, actually, technically. I don't think they were even called weapons. Everything were gadgets. So the enemies are completely different, and so in this game, just, updating it to modern Ratchet controls means we basically had to modernize the entire thing to make it all work, because there's just no way to make Ratchet and Clank feel like there's no way to make that game. Let's just remake that game and make it feel like modern Ratchet and Clank. Essentially,
you really needed to start from scratch.
Right, those enemies, those enemies need to behave. If Ratchet can strafe and like shoot normally, the enemies are all have to be completely different, and all the setups have to be reworked. Like all of that has to be redone. And so then the movie features weapons from across the series, so we knew the weapon arsenal was gonna, do that, but basically be completely different from the weapon arsenal in the first game. And so we spent a lot of time kind of figuring out what those elements would be, and basically rebuilding everything from scratch. We didn't like import the old game or anything like that. We rebuilt all the levels and assets, and there's some brand new planets, there's brand new weapons and enemies, there's cutscenes from the there's 60 minutes of new cutscenes, plus there's about 20 minutes of the film footage is in the game as well, so you'll see little bits of the film to tell some key story moments. And really, as a whole, it just feels like, if you're a fan of the series, this will feel really familiar in places. You'll go to planets and locations you remember and have some story elements you remember, but at the same time, it's also going to feel really fresh and new, and that was one of the big keys for us.
And I feel like the classic question with you guys, which I'm sure you've answered maybe 5 billion times, is about weapons. It's about like, oh, what are the cool Insomniac-style weapons in this game? I see some familiar ones, but there's also, I think you guys are going to be adding a couple new items here and there
For
as well,
sure.
right?
So if let's see, I did buy it, didn't I? Oh, maybe I didn't buy it. Maybe I just bought Mr. Zircon. So we have one that if we get enough bolts, maybe I can buy it before we get done here, and that's called the Pixelator, and that's a brand new weapon for this game. And the Pixelator is just this terrific gun that turns everything into old school pixels, and it's kind of funny because it's actually an idea we had back on the PS3, but it's really hard to make beautiful assets look bad.
Exactly.
It takes a lot of processing power to make turn them into little boxes and voxels essentially. So we spent a lot of time working on that, but it turned out really well, and they explode in this like shower of pixels, and it's just really fun. And there's all these like old school video game effects with it, and it's just something we were really that we think is really fun, and definitely is like a classic. Man, that's embarrassing.
Oh no!
I keep getting caught on those guys while talking. All right, well, let's do this for real.
You
know
focus.
the amount of crap I'm gonna get when this goes out is gonna be unreal.
Who knows? Maybe people will celebrate how real of an insight into Ratchet and Clank this is, or we'll just cut it out. Doesn't matter.
Oh, well, it could be good too. Hopefully, I didn't say anything too good where you have to leave it in. No, it's okay. I'm known for sometimes dying in demos.
That's okay. Well, let me tell you a little bit about one of my Ratchet and Clank experiences, which is flipping the heck out at Ratchet and Clank: A Crack in Time, which I just thought was one of it has such an amazing final moments. Just the series of, the story and the action and the final boss battles. I mean, all of it is so good, and I really enjoy it. And also, I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed for. I think you got it this time.
Yeah, I think so too.
That was really tight, man.
Yeah, it's a tight. It's not super easy all the time.
I think you got it. Oof, that was close. I think it said 6 to 7%.
Yeah, it's pretty much down to like Ratchet was about to run out of breath. Yeah, see, even Ratchet thought it was close.
Goodness gracious.
Crack in Time is probably, one of my all-time favorite Ratchet games up there with Up Your Arsenal and Going Commando, and I think you probably hear that from a lot of fans. And what's so fun about it is, we've definitely put a lot of like heart into the story over the years, and I think you saw that in the PlayStation 3 games. We really started striving to kind of feel like a Pixar movie, and so that was something that was really, really important to us, and that was a game where I feel like we maybe really hit it on the PlayStation 3.
Oh, absolutely.
And so it's been fun coming back. We have a CG animated movie now, and we're coming back to this game and kind of working on it. And making this CG animated, making this experience feel like a CG animated movie, but also kind of being able to inject that. Because if you think back to the original game, Ratchet actually was sort of a jerk to Clank in the original Ratchet and Clank, and that's actually not quite. There's a lot of the plot elements from the original game we've kept and stayed the same, but I would say we've softened that a bit because that wasn't really what we wanted. We actually changed voice actors after the first Ratchet game, so James Arnold Taylor has only been Ratchet since Going Commando. So that's kind of actually something cool about this as well. You actually get James Arnold Taylor in the origin story for the first time.
Oh, cool. I would have never known.
Yeah, it's a fun thing too. And it's also great with the film. We actually were able to keep, at least in North America, they were able to keep the voice actors from the game to play the 4 main character roles, I guess, the 4 mostly established characters.
For the film.
Ratchet, Clank, Quark, and Nefarious are all played by the game voice actors. So when you go see that film, you'll
feel right at home.
Right, you'll feel right at home. And you may have just seen, we saw a little scene there where we were picking up a Rhino holo card. There's kind of this whole holo card system in the game where you'll collect these cards, and if you collect the cards, there's different bonuses and things you can get. And
Ooh, James, are you telling me that there's little mini games to unlock stuff in this
well,
game?
yeah, the Trespasser's classic, but then if you want to get these cards to unlock the Rhino, you're gonna have to track down. So there's lots of different cards we can view, and
You got cards in this game,
yeah, I'll
too.
jump into it real quick. There's just so you collect your first holo card, and as you defeat enemies and do things, you'll get sets, which will open. So I'm gonna open this pack of cards, and I've got several weapons, and look, there's a Rhino card, and if you collect all of those, you'll actually get the Rhino. So there's packs of
Wait,
cards.
you have a full card system in this game?
Yeah, to
James, you're
collect-
speaking my language right
stuff.
now.
Yeah,
I love cards in video games.
Yep, and if you collect multiples, you can trade them all in. So there's different sets of cards for each planet and weapons and things like that.
Wait,
too.
do the cards actually unlock the weapons, or are they
No,
just
you
like
still
it's
will-
like a collectible card game?
It's like
basically?
a collectible. It's like a
Okay.
collection, and you get stats on your collections and your different sets and things like that, and it'll increase your drop rates and things like that for you get
Oh
bonuses
my
for doing it.
gosh.
So there's just an extra little item to collect throughout the
James,
game as well.
you guys just design. I think in the board meeting and Ted was sitting at the front of the table in his giant executive office. I'm assuming that he has. He was like, what we need to do is make a
Cards.
game for Ryan Clements.
Okay.
Specifically.
You know how
only
much fun
for
like
him.
Hearthstone, but with Ratchet and Clank would be? That would be.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
get out
that's
of town.
I went down that rabbit hole for a long time. Let me show you one other. I'll show you one other quick cool polish thing that fans may, So we've always had the weapon wheel, classic, pauses the action while you do it. But we know a lot of fans like the speed run, or they like to play the game and they don't always want to be like pausing it to switch between things. So
Sure.
we added this D-pad quick select over here on the side, and so you can set this with 4 weapons you really want to use, so that
Awesome.
while you're running around and playing, you can just very quickly change between the weapons.
It's beautiful.
And it's something that I think will be really good for the hardcore fans that play it a lot. And then I'll show you one other thing too. So if you remember the old game, the weapons didn't level up in the first game, but we also now have the whole Raritanium upgrade system. So each weapon has its own sort of upgrade board,
God.
and so you can come in here and make your Zircons fire faster and make them, come with more shots and get more Raritanium and collect more bolts when you use it. So you'll want to find Raritanium and go through, and as you can see, like some will make holo cards show up more. So you'll get more holo cards.
God.
So if you are super into collecting the holo cards, you'll want to upgrade your proton drum.
James,
and grab
are you
those.
kidding me with all this?
Yeah, there's all sorts of cool RPG stuff.
Are
again,
there hardcore RPG fans on the Insomniac crew?
I think
gotta
there's
be.
definitely that thing where we always want to have like that progression, so that you can always be getting a little bit better, whether you're upgrading Ratchet's health or you're collecting new weapons, or this is the proton drum, which just kind of fires up this wave. There we go.
Oh, I don't recognize. Is that an old weapon?
Nope, that's one of the new ones.
That's one of the
for
new
this
ones.
game, yep.
Beautiful.
So we've got a couple new ones that.
That would go really well at a rave or something.
right? If you throw a Groovatron, you basically have a Raven,
that's true,
a
that's
Groovatron
true.
and a Proton is kind of like, we like to call that combo the Rave in a box. We don't actually call it the Rave in a box, but
Did you just make that
I
up
did
right now?
just make that up. That was called improvising.
I really liked it. I would have never. You could have just let that linger, and I would have never known. We would have gone on with our lives, and I would have never known that you made that up, right on the spot.
And we got classics like I love the flame effect on this.
Yeah, that looks fantastic. I mean, the whole game, the Insomniac crew is just, I would like to say, renowned for its ability to get that feeling of an animated movie, but having it be in real time in game form.
Well, let me tell you something. Like, the PlayStation 4 is so powerful that we have all of this capability to do some amazing stuff. In our stylized world, we definitely know how to make the best of it, and we know how to make Ratchet art look good. We've spent, a long time making Ratchet games, so that helps for sure. But, man, the power of the PS4 is awesome, and, we're able to do this at 1080p, and the amount of, effects and lighting and motion blur and things like that we can put on is just absolutely unreal, and stuff, we only would have dreamed of on previous consoles. So it's pretty exciting to really be able to tap that system and kind of use its power, and I think our engine looks really beautiful running in it, so it's really exciting to see it.
I appreciate the comment you just made about that it kind of also comes from experience, and the fact that this team has been working on this series for so long, and I feel like that's often when you see developers really, really shine, is when they're speaking from the heart and also from their head and their experience and their past experiences with the game.
Yeah,
with the series.
I mean, you have guys that have been working on this series since before the first game and worked on Spyro, and then you have other people, that definitely came in, early in the PS2 era. So we have some significant experience making Ratchet and Clank, and
some serious talent.
It enables us to do things that I think we can make a game so efficiently because we just know what we're doing, and I think that's really something special because we can get a lot more bang for our buck, even just making the game and being able to make something really big and special for our fans and do it.
There's that level up.
Yep. Oh, and it feels so good every time, and do it, and do it on a more limited budget, and I think that's something that is kind of awesome, and really speaks to the talent of the team and just the experience and passion we have for creating Ratchet and Clank games.
Yeah, beautiful. And I just love, I love how you're casually just dispensing all this chaos while you're talking about development.
Yeah, you know, you get your Mr. Zircon out, and oh, look, I just picked up another
card.
And now it's like, hey, change your weapon, dummy. Oh, now we got a tank. Oh, boy.
You're handling yourself very well, though.
Well,
I mean,
as long as it's not a timed running challenge from water, I'm fine.
As long as it's
Ratchet
not,
combat?
As long as it's not a single slow-moving fish or a timed water challenge, James has it on lock.
You know, it's really ever since Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on, like, the NES, like, the sewer levels always get me down. But once I'm out on the streets, it's fine.
when you hit the streets.
Oh, man.
Yeah, this is looking really. I mean, and I just want to play this now. We don't have long to wait either. I shouldn't even complain. It's not like I have to wait like months and months. It's
April
coming up.
12th it's really, really exciting for us. Like I said, it's been weird. You know, you think about Ratchet and Clank. A Crack in Time came out 6.5 years ago. So that's how long it's been since we've had kind of a full story-based disc Ratchet and Clank. We had, had All for One, which is 4-player, and we had the side games, Full Frontal Assault and Into the Nexus. And if you haven't played Into the Nexus, you should. I think it came out right after the PS4 did, so it kind of may have got a little lost for some fans in the excitement of PlayStation 4 launching. But we have, even that was still, 2.5 years ago, almost, or a year. So it's been
That's so wild.
It's been a while since there's been a Ratchet and Clank adventure, so it's going to be really fun just to get out there and have this game out there for all our fans and PlayStation fans to play. And it feels like there's a lot of people that haven't played a Ratchet game in a while that are kind of looking forward to getting back on it. So that's something that's got us really excited too. And then you've got a movie too. So
I know.
It's a great month for Ratchet. April is Lombax Awareness Month.
Do you want to jump into another planet and just show it right before we end?
So they already cleared this planet out before we played, so we're not going to get to show a ton of it here. But we'll check out the view.
This can kind of be the nice final view that we take before we end our episode.
I'll talk about this real quick though. This is kind of cool because the movie and the game definitely were sort of made simultaneously, and so a lot of things are combined or work together. So for instance, Drek's homeworld in the original game was this poison planet, and then there was also the robot factory world, Quartu, which is where Clank was made, and we combined those. So you actually will see it's this beautiful thing where you'll see the robot factory, and but it's the same polluted planet you see in the movie, and we brought all that art into the game. This is the Hall of Heroes, this building behind Ratchet here, and this area was an area that was created for the game release or for the movie, and was and is an important location because it's where the Galactic Rangers are based out of. So
awesome.
That was a location that never existed in the Ratchet and Clank universe, and we replicated what they built for the movie and the game. And it's actually kind of interesting because if you saw, there's definitely a lot of Asian influence in that building, and that's actually the first thing in the Ratchet and Clank universe that is really inspired by Asian architecture. Most of it is kind of that 50s, 60s sci-fi. So it's kind of actually a fairly unique building in the Ratchet and Clank universe, and I think that's pretty cool because there's definitely stuff where the movie took the game models and up-res them and used our game models, and then we also took a lot of stuff that they created and concepts that they created for the movie and built it back in the game, or got assets from them and put in the game. So there's assets traded back and forth from the game to the movie as well.
That's a really cool collaborative process.
Yeah, it was really fun, and a weird thing. I don't think anyone's really pulled it off. And I hope most of all, there's been a lot of video game movies over the years that people didn't love, and we'll see what people think of the movie when it comes out. But if there's one thing I'm really confident about is that if you're a fan of Ratchet and Clank, you're going to love the film because it just is really, really true to the universe and the characters. And so if nothing else, I think the movie that we made is something that the fans of the series are really going to love and feels true to the game and the characters that they know.
Well, you know what else I love? That Ratchet and Clank is coming to PS4 on April 12th. We did it, James.
Yeah, we did it.
Thank you. Just right in time, sort of.
Right.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Ratchet and Clank PS4, April 12th. Movie, April 29th.
In theaters.
Lombax Awareness Month.
Yep.
Thank you so much for joining us on PlayStation Underground. We will see you next time.
All right, later.
PlayStation